Burning through credits. Hey, this is Frank from Obelisk, and I just wanted to share with you a deeper dive on what you can do to set up Ollama as a local LLM. So I wanted to walk you through how you would use Ollama to set up a local LLM. Now, the first thing you need to do is go to ollama.com. Download the version for your operating system. Next, what you want to do is you want to be able to go through and search your models. So there are all sorts of different models. My preference is for Gemini's model, which is called Gemma, but you could also use Llama, which is Facebook's or Meta's LLM that can be used locally. So I'm going to type that back in, Gemma, and the latest model is 4. So I'm going to select that. And we can see that this was just recently updated, right? And they constantly refresh the latest version of Gemma. Down below, you see all the different ways that you could use this local LLM. You can use it through Claude, you can use it through OpenClaw, and there are other options there. Now, one of the other things I wanted to do a little bit of a deeper dive on is there are subsets within Gemma 4, different builds of the LLM, and they're different sizes. And this is where you can kind of mix and match for what you need. My preference is to use Gemma 4 E2B. Why? It doesn't take up too much memory. It takes up about 5 gig. And you can run it on a laptop or a desktop, and you get results quite quickly. A response might take, instead of 10 seconds, when you're doing it online and you're doing it locally, it might take 40 seconds. What you could also do is you could switch between models. So you go to the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see the different models listed. And if you've downloaded the whole Gemma 4 model, you can choose the submodels within it. They'll show in this list. You could also, if you want, choose other models that you've downloaded or cloud instances that are available. So one of the other things that you need to be able to do is you need to be able to serve up the LLM to other connectors and to other applications, such as your browser. So one of the tools that I like to use is something called Docker. Docker runs a virtual machine, a virtual server on your laptop or desktop, and it really helps out when you're just doing testing and you want to try out various AI automations. So one of the things that I've included in here is an N8N instance. And you can just freely download that. The setup is really quite straightforward. And there's lots of documentation. It walks you through all the different things it can connect to. But I'm going to be using the Docker in a couple of different demonstrations that I will have on the AI Augmented channel. So if Docker is the container for our connectors, one of our connectors, and you probably heard about it or the buzz about it, is N8N. So you can go to n8n.io and sign up for an account here. It's free, and you can use all sorts of different workflows in the N8N context. So we're going to take a look at taking our LLM, which is on Ollama, and putting that chat into the browser. And we're going to use that with N8N. Let's dive in. So N8N, yes, it can be a little bit tricky to set up. However, they have a whole host of different templates that you can use to get started. And they're very powerful templates. So in here, again, I'm going to show you how to get that local LLM, give you access from the browser. But there are all sorts of different templates that you can use: sales, marketing templates, uh, operations templates, other templates. So I encourage you to go through and browse all of these different types of templates. There's one template that we're going to be using for this particular demonstration, and that is a template called Chat with Local LLMs using N8N and Ollama. So go ahead, select that template from the list and put it in your browser. So once we have this template imported, there's a couple of things that we need to edit before we can run our LLM in our browser. One of them, and I'm just going to open up the Ollama node with a double click. One of the things we need to change is how this URL, how this information is found in Docker. So we need to include the base URL here. Okay, so next we have our connector node here. So if we double click on that, the chat LLM chain, in here, just need to check settings, and we want to always output data. And you can set a retry on fail. But one of the things is that we want to always have that chat request go through and the information come back from the LLM. And we always want to output that data no matter what shape it is. Okay, and the parameters there, we don't need to have a specific output because that text, again, can flow in different formats into the browser. Okay, and finally, let's go to our chat node. So what happens when a chat message is received? In here, okay, we're going to be sending a message. Okay, one of the things you can do to test this is to go in and use the chat right within N8N, and it will kick off that chat trigger. What we want to modify in the chat message is we want to switch the switch here. It says make chat publicly available. So flip that on, it turns green, and you'll also see a chat URL. Okay, so if our instance of our LLM is hooked up, it's seen through Docker, and we also make this chat available publicly, then what can happen is we have our chat available in our browser window, right? And we can just double click on the link here, localhost, and that will show up as a browser tab. And then we can go ahead and ask a question. For example, AI automation 20 AI automation articles for digital marketers. Okay, and then we just say go. Okay, so it's been thinking for about 30 or 40 seconds here. And the local LLM is going to function a bit slower, but you are not being charged any credits for it. Now, local LLMs, just a thought on that. When do you use them for AI automations? if you're just going to be, asking questions about web searches and things like that, you would always use your AI Trinity. You'd use Claude, you'd use Gemini, you use ChatGPT, and occasionally you'd use Perplexity to do those sophisticated web searches. But what about work that you're doing on your laptop? Or what about some sensitive business information? You probably want to have a local LLM in those particular instances, right? You don't want to be sharing your business secret sauce with the AI Trinity. Instead, what you've got is a local instance where those chats are saved locally on your machine, which is a lot more secure. Okay, and there we have it. Here is our response, and we can see that the chat is functioning, and away we go. So local LLMs are helpful for lots of different reasons, but the two main reasons are, one, where that data is going. It's going to a local repository, so it's keeping your business information safe. And the other reason is that you're not necessarily burning through credits for those requests that are happening locally or locally within your team infrastructure at your office. Okay, hope you enjoyed this deep dive into N8N and local LLMs. And I'll see you soon. This is Frank from Obelisk, and join me on the next AI Augmented Deep Dive.